when a new industry emerges, displacing the older way of doing business, do you think it harms the incumbent revenue or the incumbent employment structures in India? Which obviously has an impact on middle India. But a lot of these business models that are coming in India, maybe animal, maybe the distribution, and so on and so forth. Do you think it also displaces a large part of the incumbent revenue pool that the traditional industries enjoyed and the employment structures that they were generating in this?
Yeah, Gaurav, I'll take a very quick shot and hand it over to Hari also. See, at least our opinion is it is not a wallet share game today, where it's not as if when you offer these solutions, in some cases it is, but in those cases where you are taking money away from a large corporate today, it takes time for you to become larger and larger where they care, right? That is classic, Clayton Christensen, where they're not even aware, unless you happen to be Reliance Jio, where overnight you get 400 million users, right? But in most of these other cases, it's a brand new market that you are trying to solve, where there isn't an existing solution. But if you take someone like Local, which is offering micro level classifieds using the mobile phone, using content, generating trust, clearly they will take away revenue from the local newspaper, but they're doing so much more. So it's not a one-to-one in many ways for many of these markets. Hari?
Yeah, so I think, Gaurav, creative destruction is as old as innovation and capitalism itself. In fact, it's the very essence of innovation and capitalism. You can go back to history, starting of the Industrial Revolution, when the spinning jenny, for example, was invented. One could argue that, it replaced hundreds, if not thousands of, handloom weavers. But then it brought down the cost of clothing to such a level that the whole world could afford to get clothed. And if you take the steam engine, I think it clearly displaced all those horse carriage businesses, but then it created made the whole world into a global village where people began working and taking up employment far away from their place of birth, and the whole world became one global village. So if you just look at any innovation and creativity, it has always tended to displace a certain set of existing businesses, but then ended up creating much more value. Did dynamite, for example, displace the need for labor? No, dynamite, I think, helped humanity create the Panama Canal, Suez Canal, helped build dams like the Bhakra Nangal, helped people aspire for so much more. And if you just look at the half-life of companies in America, for instance, is about 10 years, which means that 50% of all the companies that exist today no longer exist 10 years from now. Either they are sold or they are dead. So I think creative destruction is such an essential element of innovation. Even if you just look at the Sensex, so many companies that were part of the Sensex are no longer part of the Sensex. And this creative destruction has also, found shape in the form of an S-curve, which everybody talks about, which is a very early stage innovation where, until you get a great product market fit, everything moves a little slowly. But once you hit that perfect product market hit, everything begins to scale very rapidly. You build an amazing business, but then after a particular point of time when you grow really large, you lose that ability to innovate, and probably you are displaced by, a startup that begins at a dorm room in an NIT, MIT, or IIT. And that's the way life itself is. Even in evolution, you see that. So I think creative destruction over the long run, I think while it may displace a few existing companies and may result in some people being laid off, overall, I think technology has been the biggest job creation engines in the history of mankind. And overall, it's the very essence of innovation.
No, absolutely. In fact, I think that clarion call did stand out. With each and every technology innovation curves that humans have induced in the ecosystem. Their mental bandwidth has been free to do bigger and better things, whereas some of the things that they could not do earlier were taken up by the technology and innovation.